What up, you guys? Josh out here in Singapore, and it is the Night Owl Podcast. You guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really want to talk about influencing, mostly because I have my own take on things, as always, and I just want to share it with you because maybe it'll give you another perspective to consider going forward, right? So influencer, right now, influencer has to do with social media. It has to do with popularity. It means that you have tons and tons of followers, or you have a lot of people who listen to you. So maybe you don't have millions of followers. Maybe you have 2,000, but of the 2,000, you have about 1,000 something that, respond to your posts, that, connect with you on a daily basis, that really listen to what you're saying. So in that regard, there are very many levels of influencing out there. But what I want to talk to you about is influencing on a very, very small scale. I'm talking about within your circle of friends. Maybe it's back to high school where you had your clique of friends that you hung out with every day, and that was your circle of influence. It was the people that you listened to, the people that listened to you, and basically they took your words with weight. It's a weighted thing that you say, and they really take it to heart, and they decide that they want to do stuff as well. Now, when I think about influencing, from my perspective, it's one of those situations where I would rather let you know my experience with something and then allow you the room to question for yourself and discover for yourself whether you might have the same experience or not. So that goes for social media, it goes for everyday life, whatever. I really feel like my purpose is not to tell you what to do, but it's to show you what's possible, and then you go discover for yourself what works best for you. So that goes for mental health. It goes for product placement, support of small local businesses or whatever. Even, the way I do my hair or do my daughter's hair. It's how I do things, what works for me. I'm going to tell you if you ask, and then it's up to you whether you try what I tell you or not, which also means if you're going to try what I tell you, you need to be honest about your specific expectations and your specific experience with that particular strategy that I've given you, basically. So let's talk about it in a mental health capacity, shall we? If I tell you the best way to ground yourself when you're feeling anxious is to use your five senses and bring your consciousness out of your thoughts and into your physical body instead. I need you to come out of the past that you're reminiscing or the future that you're worried about, and I need you to think about the present moment and notice where you are, what's going on right around you. And that's a tactic that I've used a lot for myself and on my clients that helps you to kind of regulate your breathing, kind of bring yourself back to the present moment so you can stop panicking a little bit. That's all that is. That the whole point of it is for you to stop panicking, to calm yourself down somehow, because I need to teach you tools that will be helpful to you. Now, some people that works. Some people it does not. I've done everything from brainstorming with them to see what kinds of things make them feel calm. Maybe it's the act of putting together a puzzle. For me, that's very calming. It's actually part of your grounding process because you have to be current to pay attention to which piece goes where to a degree. That isn't to say that your mind isn't going to still wander a little bit, but the act of doing something versus just sitting and thinking and worrying is very different. So it allows you to come into your present body, into the present situation, and kind of slow down your thoughts a little bit. Because let's face it, we're really actually not that great at multitasking. We weren't built for that. So whether it's making puzzles, it may be origami, it may be drawing or coloring. So many people love coloring because it's so soothing. Why? Because you have to focus on the lines, you have to focus on the way you want the colors to present, or the pairings of the colors, if that's what you're into, right? It could be drawing because you have this particular image in your head, you want to get it onto paper, you have to kind of concentrate a little bit. So anything that brings you into your present state is grounding to me. Like I said, the first one was using all five senses. If you don't like that, if it doesn't work for you, you could do something like get in the shower. The act of being in the shower is very cleansing because you're using one of the natural elements, water, and it has a cleansing effect to it anyway because it starts from your head and washes all the way down to your feet. It's almost like it washes all of your extra energy away a little bit so you can calm down. It's an act that a lot of people identify with because you feel like you have to feel the water on your skin, and that again brings you back into the present moment. It could be something as simple as taking your shoes off and walking around bare feet, to feel the grass underneath your feet, to feel the sidewalk, the pebbles, whatever it is that you're walking across, to feel it, to bring yourself back into the present moment. It could be something as simple as deep breathing exercises or meditation. Whatever works best for you is what you need to use. And there is a chance at some point down the road that choice that you made, that particular coping mechanism you found that helps you calm down, may not work anymore. You may need something different. And that's also possible. But the point being, as a coach, as a therapist, counselor, I am in a position of influence. I will tell you what I think would work best for you based on my opinion, based on my experience with other clients that are similar to you, that people, based on what you've told me about your story, I will make recommendations. I will tell you where to look, and then it's up to you to go and to test it out, and try for yourself and see if it actually works. Same thing with social media and product support, right? When you're promoting a product of sort, I have people that send me things for free, and I'm very, very grateful because I know how much it costs to send something to someone at no cost. That means you have to buy the packaging, you have to develop the product, you've done testing and testing and testing on the product itself, you are spending money on branding and advertising, and then to be able to deliver at no cost, which means you're absorbing shipping and handling as well. That is a big deal to me, so I do not take that for granted. And when I try a product, I will give you an honest review, which means to say that I am going to tell the audience, hey, I've never tried this product before, I've never heard of this product before, or if I have, I will let them know as well. And all my support is meant to do is to let people know that I've tried this and it worked for me and this is my experience with it. By all means, if you're looking for something similar to this product, try this one. I've tried it before, and at least let them know that, this is something that you are influenced to test out for yourself. That isn't to say that I promise you that this will happen to you. No, I can't. Because I don't know what you eat, I don't know how you live, I don't know how often you sleep, I don't know how you take care of your body in order for a product to really work for you. So honestly, that's all you. But as an influencer, the only thing that I can humbly share is my experience and my recommendations based on my experience. Even still, you still have to try the product. You have to test it out for yourself. There are some lipsticks that people will swear up and down are the best. They last forever. They don't wipe off on anything. And it really depends on the texture of the skin of your lip. How well you take care of your lips. How often do you exfoliate your lips? Do you drink a lot of water? Do your skin tend to peel? Does it crack ever? All those things matter. For me, I just don't like lipstick. I would prefer gloss, and even better still, I would much prefer oils. But that's me. So I'm not going to go promote a lipstick because honestly, I don't wear them. But if it's something that I would use, I will happily promote. Now, if they've taken the time to send me a product and I don't really feel like it's very useful to me, what I will tell them is detailed how it worked for me and what my experience was, and the reason why I may not promote it in public for social media, but at least then they have a little bit of feedback to understand that, okay, maybe the packaging or the product advertising needs to change a little bit to specify what kind of skin type it's for, or what kind of results you're looking for. Maybe your skin is really dry and this is meant to lubricate it, but if you're naturally an oily skin person, it may not work very well for you. But if you have dry skin naturally, this might be the best product. So then your messaging would change, that it's meant for people with dry skin. But you won't know that until you give a couple of people freebies, have them try it, give them the idea that you want, honest feedback, so that then you can adjust your messaging. When it comes to influence within your home, within your friend circle, let's go with friend circle. I know a lot of times you may have a bad experience with one person, and all of your friends know that same person. But what do? We tend to rally our friends so that they also don't like that person based on your experience with them. Now, why you had that particular experience with that person, God only knows. A lot of times it may be something you did that they took and misunderstood, and then they retaliated somehow, and then you had like a blowout. Now, unless you actually speak to that person and try and clear the air and figure out where you went wrong, you're going to take it at face value and you're going to run with it. But the worst thing you could possibly do is to try and influence other people to join your cause when they have different experiences. What I want to make sure people understand is, if you're in a position of influence, and yes, of course, you would want your friends to believe the same things you do, but you can't expect for them to pick up where you've left off. You can't expect for them to carry your torch because you told them to. You need to let them make decisions for themselves as well, because chances are, if you let them do that, they might be able to help you mend this relationship or help you understand better so you don't find yourself in the same position again. That is the point of true friendship. You're meant to have a diverse group of friends that you hang out with, all of whom have different experiences, different opinions, different ideas about the world, different beliefs, and together you can teach each other about how to best manage your world, how to best manage your version of reality. So when you have a situation where you've maybe had a falling out with a specific person and they were rude to you and you were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, they were so rude. Yes, of course, the first thing you want to do is go off and tell your friends, yo, this person did such and I can't believe they were so rude. This is ridiculous and unimaginably offensive that I don't want to forgive them. But at that point, once you open up and told them what your experience was, you need to be okay with the fact that they're going to have their own opinions. They're going to choose whether they continue to be friends with you and with them as well, or if they're going to ostracize the other person because of what you said. It's really up to them. But that does not change the fact that they are your friends. It doesn't change the fact that they are loyal to you as well. They're allowed to have a different experience with the outside world. So this is something I really need you guys to understand, because I think when it comes to influence, we expect people to automatically do what we told them that we're doing, or to feel exactly how we feel about certain situations once we've explained something to them. I've had so many people in my life have come to me at one point or another to ask for counsel or advice, and they've told me about another person that I know. I personally know both parties, and they're telling me that this person is terrible, horrible, no good, very bad, just whoa. And I'm sitting here with a, plain face, trying really hard to hear them out and understand that, this is their experience of that person that I know. It may be someone I love, maybe someone I grew up with, but it's something that they experience, and I understand that. Everyone has the capacity for good and bad. Everyone has the capacity to lose their temper and have very bad days. It's possible. But in order for me to hear them out, I also need to understand that that person may have had an off day and may have retaliated this one time, and you took it to heart and thought that this is the way that they are. But unless you go and talk to that person and let them know, hey, you were very offended by something they did, you do not give that person the opportunity to explain themselves. Now, obviously, if it's something that's a repeat offender, or someone who's a repeat offender, you don't need them to explain anymore. They probably explain, but their behavior stays the same. I get that. But for God's sakes, please, your experience with one person is not meant to color how everybody else sees that same person. That's not fair. That's almost like the tabloids taking one line out of a story and running with it, and they tend to ruin the celebrity lives and really change the way we see the world itself. One thing might be, a once in a lifetime slip up. They may have tripped on a crack and fallen over and flashed somebody, and suddenly it's like this girl is a flasher and she really loves to flash people, and it's taken out of context. So if you understand that it's possible for the media to do that, please yourself don't go do that. It's important that you come to these situations with a little bit of compassion. Please, by all means, tell your friends what happened, but allow them to make their own decisions. Allow them to ask you what else happened. Is there any part of the story you haven't told them? Is there something else that might have happened that may explain the behavior of the other person? That's also possible. And that's the point of having good friends. And not to say that they doubt you by any means, but to help you see that, it may be more than this just little blip that you saw all of a sudden. So, as an influencer, and trust me, all of us are influencers, as an influencer, understand your position and understand that your experience is separate from everybody else's experience. They're allowed to feel something different. They're allowed to interact with people differently. It's no small thing when we say energy doesn't lie. Yes, you may feel weird about a specific person, but other people may not. And it's not to say that you're wrong, it's just that this is your defense mechanism, this is your nervous system reacting to that person's energy, and that's okay. It's a defense thing. It's possible. Same thing could be said in reverse. You may have the best of intentions, but maybe the way you look, maybe it's a scar on your face that, tends to scare people a little bit. Maybe it's the way you look at people, because you tend to lean in and look all the way into somebody, and they think it's very, very intimidating, that they find you very scary, and they tend to stay away from you. That's also possible, but it's not until they sit down and talk to you that they realize you're a sweetheart and there's nothing wrong with the way you do things. It's just different from what you're used to. So please, you need to think about what it means to have influence and what your intention is when you try to influence people. That's really important. So if you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comments below. You want to talk to me one-on-one, please send me a DM. Let's sort that out as well. But in the meantime, you guys, I hope you have a blessed day. I'll catch you again soon. Bye.